Japan's youth suicides hit 30-year high.
Here's a summary of the article.
Suicides by Japanese youth have reached a 30-year high, the Education Ministry said on Monday, even as overall suicide numbers have steadily declined over the past 15 years. A total of 250 children in elementary school, middle school and high school killed themselves in the fiscal year through March, up from 245 the previous year, according to a ministry survey. That was the highest since 1986, when 268 students took their own lives. The number of suicides of students have stayed high, and that is an alarming issue which should be tackled, said ministry official Noriaki Kitazaki. High school students in Japan typically graduate at age 18. Across all age groups, the number of suicides in Japan has fallen to 21,321 in 2017 from a peak of 34,427 in 2003, according to the National Police Agency. You will also receive an email inviting you to receive our news alerts.
This post received a score of 31,817, with an upvote ratio of 94%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Across all age groups, the number of suicides in Japan has fallen to 21,321 in 2017 from a peak of 34,427 in 2003, according to the National Police Agency. Sure, it has fallen, but how is that percentage-wise in the general population?
Population of Japan was 128 million in 2003 and has only fallen by about 1 million to 127 million in 2017, so the difference in overall population is negligible, meaning that an absolute reduction to two-thirds is also a relative reduction to two-thirds.
At a death rate of 8.55 per 1,000 in 2003 and 9.8 in 2017, that puts suicide at 3% of deaths in 2003 and 1.7% in 2017. A proportionally high amount being children though is definitely something to be concerned with. Some people are concerned with my use of population, in that an increase of overall death rate would mask the suicide rate change. The suicide rate decreased by 37 to 43% depending on how you calculate it, either as a metric of population or a metric of death proportion, between 2003 and 2017 in Japan. If I had the data on preventable death versus all death for Japan, I would use it because it would be the best metric out of the three.
Is there a particular reason you put it in relation to the number of overall deaths rather than the population size?
Japan's average lifespan is higher than that of the USA, so that wouldn't be an apples-to-apples comparison to compare it to only total population size.
Then compare by age group, not proportion of deaths. Suicides are unique in death in that they're a behavior, a choice. So it's important to know what proportion of people are making that choice. People aren't choosing to get kidney disease or stomach cancer, for example. By this metric, a war on Japan that suddenly eliminated half the population would by definition drastically reduce the proportion of deaths by suicide, without necessarily having any direct effect on behavior change.
And by a population size metric, a sudden influx of 20 million mentally healthy, non-suicidal immigrants to Japan, a hypothetical situation as absurd as yours, would completely mask any changes in suicide rate. No metric is infallible in the face of arbitrarily applied black swan events.
Greater than it is difficult to determine the factors behind the increase, he said. They just have an apathetic approach to the whole subject. It seems that childhood is something to be endured rather than enjoyed. This is a country where the bullied are expected to quit the school and every few months another sports coach has been found to have been beating his pupils.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to Speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.